Amy and Abby on today. Amy is our lead pay-per-click person, and Abby is our lead SEO person. So what happened is last week we had a big workshop on optimizing your Google profile. And out of that workshop came a lot of questions. There were tons of questions on the workshop live last week. And so we decided to grab all those questions and get Amy and Abby on here. And we're just going to have, we're going to play a round of 20 questions, although I think now there's 21. But we're going to play 20 questions with Abby and Amy and just kind of go through all the things that we know our audience was asking and things that would interest you around this. Now, if you did not get the workshop from last week, you weren't able to attend that live, we do have that on our training page. So you can go to wtmarketingpros.com/training and actually get access to all of the training that we do. The entire last year's worth of training is on that page. There is a QR code if you're watching us live. You can shoot that. That'll take you straight to that page. But all our training is there. And this month was all around optimizing your Google business profile, mostly around Google My Business, which is what you might be more aware of it being called. But it is the where you get into what we call the 3-pack of results, where you have the 3 pins and the map. That is a very important area to have your business listed in, and drives for our clients somewhere between 60 and 70% of all leads come from that area, not even the organic results or the paid ads in particular. So it's very important that you have your business listed there. And on last week's workshop, we went through how you do that, how you get listed there, all the different things you can do, all the different components that work together to make that happen. So out of that, again, came some questions we're going to go through today. First, let's jump over to Abby and just get a quick introduction. Abby, tell us who you are, what you do.
Thanks, Will. Hi, everyone. I'm Abby and the lead SEO expert of Window Treatment Marketing Pros. So I oversee all of the SEO related tasks when it comes to on-page, off-page, link building, and improving the local SEO of our clients. Thank
Awesome.
you.
She is a behind the scenes guru, does a great job for all of our clients. When you see the organic rankings climbing, you can blame her for that if you're one of our clients. So thanks, Abby. All right, Amy is the other side. She is the anti-SEO team, which
Oh
is
no.
pay-per-click. So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, Will, for this opportunity to be with you on the stream. Um, just a quick background about me. Amy from WTMP. So I'm the lead PPC manager for Window Treatment Marketing Pros. That means that I mainly manage all of our clients' paid advertising. So that includes mainly Google Ads, ranking on Google Maps via paid ads, and some Facebook in there as well. And hopefully, we'll be catering to more platforms in the future, being able to uh, improve our clients' visibility online, and invest on running paid advertising, which hopefully the goal is to increase their return on ad spend. So I'm the one who manages their um, paid ad accounts, manages their budgets, their targeting, and all. And I we do have another some people within the PPC team as well, similar to SEO. It's a whole team working together in improving our clients' paid advertising.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, you guys do a great job too. The conversation I always like to have with our clients is around increasing their budget on the paid ad side, because basically if it's working right, you put $1 in and 5 or 10 come
Right.
out. How many dollars you want to put in at that point. and that's great. But having that pay-per-click platform optimized is a big piece of that. And we'll actually get into some questions today around people who didn't have that same experience. So thank you guys. So just a quick overview again of last week's workshop. We talked about optimizing your Google business profile. Part of optimizing that is while you're waiting for Google to get you into that 3-pack, there's a way to cheat, and that is to run ads in the actual map area. So that's part of the reason I've got Amy on today, because a lot of people had questions about that. They didn't realize that you could actually be the 4th listing in the 3-pack, and your listing would be first if you run ads specifically to that. Right. So we'll get into that a little bit today. The questions are pretty much just in order of how they were given to us, so we're going to bounce around a little bit, but I think it's going to be good and informative. So let's go ahead and jump in. First question. How can I ensure that my pay-per-click ads appear at the top of the map results? Exactly what I just said.
Yes. Yeah, as what you mentioned, Will, a lot of people, what they know is that you need to optimize your Google business profile in order for you to rank there organically. But as you said, you can definitely run ads in order for you to be at the top of that search results. So this mainly benefits businesses who is still on that, very early period on their SEO. And say, for example, you're on, as you said, 4th or 5th of the map pack, which means that most likely people will need to scroll down in order for them to see your business. And so if you run ads, um, the one thing that you need to ensure, aside from just paying for paid ads, is that you will need to have an optimized Google My Business profile. And that you don't need to pay anything for that, right? That is, Google My Business is a free tool that you can definitely take advantage of. So once you have an optimized Google My Business listing, and you decided, for example, to run pay-per-click ads, that will mean that you will need to use location-specific keywords and have irrelevant ad that is tied onto that. So aside from that, it's allocating sufficient budget in order for you to bid competitively on pay-per-click, because pay-per-click is like what Google is using is like there is like a bidding auction. And so if you don't have enough budget to spend, then there's a good chance that a lot of your competitors might outbid you. Um, and so one thing that you definitely would need to ensure as well, um, is just making sure that before you run any ads, you took the time, or someone from your team, someone in your business took the time to take advantage of the free tools first, because no amount of budget, for example, will ensure that you will get leads coming from your ads. So even though you have, say, the biggest budget among your competitors, if your Google My Business listing is not optimized, then the users can just bounce off of your Google My Business listing.
So that's really important to, but basically watch the workshop we did, optimize your listing. So it's not that you can just log in and start running ads specifically to the map area. You have to have these other things built out first.
Right. Yeah. And I think we're pretty, honest with our clients on that. And, we don't easily need to tell them that, okay, spend money on ads and you will be at the top of the search results. SEO and pay-per-click is pretty much tied on together these days.
Yeah, for sure. Great answer. Thank you, Amy. All right, let's go jump on to question 2. This one we might have to change up a little bit. So can you provide examples of a successful ad campaigns that have effectively utilized the map pack? So obviously we can't provide examples on here,
Mm-hmm.
uh, especially on audio. So maybe you could give a tip or two around things that you can do. And I'll also preface this by saying we've had clients that said, I really want to be in the map pack when somebody searches for this particular term. And just because you want that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to show up in the map pack every time. Is that fair? As an ad, is that would that be fair to say?
Yes, that is very fair to say. There are a lot of factors affecting how your ads will show on Google or in the local map pack. And so having like an optimized business profile and the budget is just one of those options. You also need to consider how your ad campaigns are structured, your targeting, the locations that you are targeting, how relevant your ads are into your what you're trying to target, your website as well. Google will scan all of the details based on those factors. And they don't have, a simple checklist for advertisers to just cross out.
Right.
So you kind of need to have um, all of those tied together. Like you have a great landing page, you have an optimized Google business listing. All of your campaigns are set, and the right foundations are set for your campaign, how they're structured. Um, and so if you will just say that I want to rank for this specific keyword and I want to be at the top all the time for this keyword, you don't have that kind of control, because if that is just the rule, then everyone will be at the top. um,
Right.
and if it's just if the factor is just, say for example, who wants to bid the highest, then it will not be fair for all of the advertisers. So Google is trying to make sure that that what the customer is trying to search for, they will give a lot of chances for all of the advertisers.
Right.
um, and we have a lot of clients who had been very successful in running ads on Google Maps. We had the clients from, I would say, Austin more recently, um, Los Angeles, Orange County. um, and so this is really effective for, especially for local business owners, not just in the window treatment and awnings industry, but a lot of other industries as well that it is catering to a local audience. So it's great. It's a great option for them.
Yeah. Yeah, these same things apply really to anybody in any kind of home services. Obviously,
Mhm.
we cater
Right.
specifically to the window treatment and awning industries, but this could be applied to a roofing company or a dentist or
Hmm.
anybody like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, number three, I'm gonna ask for Abby and Amy's answer. The question is, can I optimize my PPC campaign to consistently appear above the map on various devices? Let's start with Abby on the SEO side. Are there things you can do in the Google business profile to help you really start to show up in the maps more often?
First thing is the clients need to verify their Google My Business or Google Business profile. That's the first one in order for the listing to show up on the Google Maps. And then the other optimization would be adding more information as needed, like business descriptions, services areas they are catering to, and then the website or the landing pages, phone numbers, and other information, and most importantly the images like photos of the locations. And if you're window treatment or an owning companies, you need to upload like high quality photos of your products as well, even your team, just to give like a glimpse to the potential customers what you're offering and what kind of services are you providing to the customers. And Aside from that, you need to improve or to gain more reviews to improve like the relevance, the authority of your Google My Business listing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of pieces to that to get it all kind of working together. Amy, thank you, Abby. Amy, let's have the same question. Can I optimize my campaign to consistently appear above the map on various devices?
Yeah, definitely. Um, so one thing that you will need to consider, aside from what Abby said, optimizing your Google business listing, have, some good quality photos on there. You also need to optimize your campaign, and your website, for mobile devices. So as we all know, your Google business listing is also linked to your website. So there is a good, amount of people that is going into your Google business listing and then clicking that go to the website button. And so you need to make sure that your campaign and your website is mobile friendly. They look better on mobile just as much as they look good on desktop as well. And then having a strong ad copy. So you will need to make sure that your ads are highly relevant to what you're trying to promote. We don't want your ads to show as being a clickbait or unprofessional. Um, so we need to make sure that it's compelling enough, but not, will come off as a spam. So there are some best practices that we follow, in order for us to have a strong ad copy. Um, and also using location extension. So this is very important when running Google Ads, because some people think that running ads on maps is on a different platform compared to running ads on the Google search results
Right.
page. But they are actually one platform. And if you don't integrate location extensions, that means connecting or linking your Google business listing to Google Ads, then you won't be able to show on maps at all. And so that's one thing that you will need to ensure, that your location extensions, or they're actually called assets now, is turned on. As long as you have admin access to both your Google Ads and your Google business profile, then you will be able to enable it, very easily. And
Okay.
also, just refining your bid strategies and maintaining consistent optimization will help you stay on the three pack for longer.
Okay. So two big things there. Turn on the locations piece of that. That's really the trick that makes those two connect
Right.
together. And then optimizing it ongoing so you can't just, it's not set it and forget it, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. Next question. Are there differences in strategies for placing PPC ads above maps in different search engines or platforms? So on the workshop, one thing we did talk about was Bing Places, which is still out there. Not many people use it, but from time to time they do. So is there any different strategies that you do on a different platform, such as Bing, for your PPC campaign?
They are very similar, but I think Bing differs in terms of the demographics that are using it. And so on Google Ads, not a lot of people know, but you can actually import your Google Ads to Bing Ads very easily. So as long as um, you correctly set the right foundations and have all the keywords and ads from your Google Ads, and you want to try Bing Ads, it's a lot easier for you to do that. There are other PPC platforms. Say, for example, Facebook also have the Facebook Ads Manager. And you can also run lead generation ads on there, traffic ads, or engagement ads. So it's really a matter of testing it out and knowing which works for your business. And also, you can run ads simultaneously across all of these platforms. The key there is being consistent with your campaigns and monitoring it and optimizing it regularly, because there might be some people that would say Google Ads is not working for us, or Facebook haven't really worked for us. And when you ask them, they will tell you, well, we tried it for 3 weeks, but it didn't get us any leads. But really, the key there is to, just doing it regularly and optimizing it or scaling it, removing what doesn't work, and then improving or tweaking what works and scaling. So
Yeah.
you need to give it some time as well.
Yeah. I think it's funny that Bing ads basically gave up and said, you know what, just import from Google.
Yes.
So, so just optimize your Google pay per click. Once they're working fairly well, pull them into Bing ads, and you're 90% of the way done, right?
Right, right. Yeah. That's basically how it works.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, next question. Can I use specific keywords or phrases to increase the chances of my ads appearing in the map pack?
On paid ads, on the paid ad side, yes, you do need to incorporate some location specific keywords and phrases, along with relevant ad extensions or assets. Um, it can enhance the chances of your ads appearing in the map pack. And so from time to time, you will need to go in there, check your performance per location, not just per keyword. So it's one of the things that we do, like on a monthly basis. Just go in there, see which zip codes are working a lot better than others. See if we'll need to like exclude some locations. Um, and in terms of the keywords, there are certain areas that you can target. Say, for example, in our industry, custom window treatments, and then the name of the city or location, and also near me keywords. So, near me keywords is one of the keywords that can get you to the map pack, because Google knows that if the customer types in product or services plus near me, they are looking for something that is within the nearby radius where their device is at. So um, that is one of the keywords that we, from the get go, we would usually target on our campaign. So not a lot of advertisers may know that, but like Google knows if someone is typing near me, they're looking for someone local.
Yeah. Yeah, they understand the intent of a lot of
Mhm.
different searches and modify their results depending on what they think you're intending to research. Great,
Exactly, yes.
great answer. All right, Abby, let's switch it over to you real quick. Is there in Google My Business or Google Business Profile? Can people put keywords in certain places inside their Google Business Profile to influence Google to show them without them having to run ads?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. They can optimize their Google My Business or Google Business Profile with the specific keywords or phrases relevant to the business. It actually improve the chances of appearing on the Google Map pack. Like we can incorporate those keywords into their business description, the services. And they can add like a custom services on their listing, and then other available fields in the listing, like
Okay.
since like the Google AIs can understand the intent, we can just put near me on the descriptions, but you can just instead of using near me, you can just add offering, like for example offering custom window treatments near you, something like that. It's like similar to the near me keywords, like using the near you or near the specific location, because this will help Google understand what your business is about, and it relates to user queries, thus making it more likely to be featured in the map for the relevant searches.
Yeah. Okay. But there are places you cannot use keywords like your business name, things like that.
Yes, yes, exactly.
If you start
Yeah,
putting them in there, you'll get kicked out, right?
yeah. You need to um, verify your account, or worst case scenario is Google will no longer um, able to verify your account and show on the Google Map pack.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Number 6, I think we've probably already answered with the location extension, but what are the steps to display ads within the map pack on search engine result pages? So I think the answer there, Amy, is to make sure that that location piece is turned on. Is that fair?
Yes, so that's basically how you link the two together.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, what is it called? Location.
Location extensions or assets.
Okay. Oh, and they changed it to assets now.
Yes, they
I
always
just
do that.
want, sorry.
Go,
Go
Abby.
ahead.
Yeah, I just want to add on the like on the free version side of it. In Google My Business listing, there's like a Google Post. They can maximize like the Google Post feature where they can share updates, offers, and then events. So that is directly on their Google Business profile.
Yeah, posts are real important. How often do you recommend, Abby, that somebody add a post to the Google My Business platform?
Based on our experience, 2 to 3 like per week will be good. And then if there's any like an updates, like important updates, and especially the offers. So if you have promotions, specials, yeah, you should definitely post it on your Google My Business listing.
Yeah, yeah. So when Hunter Douglas comes out with their
Mm-hmm.
next thing, make sure you have that added to your offers, those kinds of things. Perfect. All right. How do user reviews and ratings impact the visibility of pay-per-click ads relative to maps?
Um, as we might mentioned earlier, they are like tied together, right? So, meaning if you have positive reviews on there and ratings from your customers, it can highly improve your business credibility, and it will serve as a social proof to potential customers as well. So it leads to a higher click through rate for your ads. The opposite of that is you if you have a lot of negative feedbacks on there, then that might be a factor, a deciding factor to your customers, because you are in competition to others who are, for example, have 50 reviews or 5 star, and if you're, have a lot of complaints on there and your listing, your reviews, for example, is just 10, even though you are at the top of the search results or on the local 3 pack, if say number 2 or number 3 organically does have a much better numbers in terms of all the reviews, that is a huge factor, especially for your potential customers.
Perfect. Cool. So we push reviews a lot, and Abby, on the Google Business profile side, just getting into the 3 pack reviews is one of the big 3 things that will really influence it. And if you're listed there, in theory, if you're listed in the 3 pack, you don't have to run ads to get into the 3 pack, right? So there is a long term goal of saving money by not having to run ads for those locations. All right, let's go on to the next question. Can you explain the relationship between bid amounts and the likelihood of being placed above map results for pay per click? So, without jumping into super detail, I know that there are things, Amy, around quality score, how well your ad is written, those kinds of things, where somebody bidding less could actually show above somebody that's bidding more because
Right.
their ads are better written. Would that be fair to say?
That is fair to say. And that will mean that you can pay less but rank higher on the search results, because while bidding amounts influences your ad rank, your ad relevance and quality score, as you mentioned, it plays a crucial role in determining whether your ad appears above or below on the top of the search results. So it's just one of the things that can influence your rank, but it's not the only thing that will matter, because how the Google algorithm works is that it wants to make sure that it delivers the best ad for the customers. And so it doesn't, the formula is not just on how much are you willing to spend as an advertiser, but also making sure that all of the other factors are put up in place, meaning your ad is not clickbaity, your landing pages are good, there are no typos or no errors on your ad copies or your landing page. So that's one thing that you will need to know when you're running ads.
Yeah, there's also some script that you could put on the back end of your website, which basically tells Google that this visitor came all the way through the site and converted to a lead, right? And so if you have that piece set up as well, Google can learn more about the visitors they're sending to you, and that would then optimize your ad placement as well, right?
Definitely. And that's one thing that, not a lot of business owners know, is that Google will in time get to know your business, and so the amount of data that you feed Google organically via your website, by your PPC campaigns and all of the other footprints that you have on the internet, it will be one of the factors of how your ads will perform, or your search engine results are, what your search engine results are.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next question. We're halfway through here. How frequently should I monitor and adjust my pay-per-click campaign to maintain a prominent position above map results? So I think this is another one of those questions where can I just set it and forget it?
Definitely not recommended to set it and forget it. We had a lot of clients, honestly, that had transitioned their old accounts over to us, and that what they and we cannot blame them for this, because Google is, um, you know, does show it as one of their options to run what we call smart campaigns, meaning you just set a budget, you will handle all the work basically to Google. Um, but the result for that, based on experience, the result of that is very low quality leads. And so having to regularly monitor your campaign's performance, adjusting your strategies and keywords is needed, reviewing your data at least weekly to maintain a prominent position is very important, because your competitors are most likely optimizing their paid ads regularly. So they may outbid you if you just say, for example, just check, once every month or twice, and so you won't have that control over where your ads are show. And if you don't know how your campaigns are performing, you can't optimize them. So in time you will just spend money, but you're actually not optimizing the budget that you have. So
Right.
it's a wasted spend if that's the case.
Yeah. 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 Good point. All right. Question 11. And this is an interesting one because I think part of the thing is with uh, ads in the map area is you don't actually get to write an ad, right? Here, let me ask the question. Are there specific ad formats designed for display within the map pack? I'm assuming they mean, can I put you know, graphics, videos, that kind of stuff. But in the map pack, you don't actually get to write an ad. Is that fair?
Um, yeah, I would say yes, because there is what you call a search ad, right? Those are the ads that appear before the organic results. But
Right.
for the map pack, it is integrated to your Google business listing. And so your headline, some of the headlines and description can still appear, but aside from that, when the customer clicks on the ad, it will show your Google business listing. So whatever
Right.
photos that you have there, you upload on there, whatever reviews and posts that you have on there, that is what the customer will see. So they will appear as text ads with location extensions, and that's where
Yeah.
your business profile goes.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't put videos and all that kind of stuff in the ad itself. It looks just like the other three map listings.
Mm-hmm.
But if they click on that and you've used posts, those sorts of things, then you
Right.
have that advantage there. Okay. Number 12, I think we've kind of already answered, but I'll go ahead and throw it out there just in case there's anything you want to add. Can you explain the impact of ad relevance and quality score on ad visibility in the map pack?
Yeah, so ad relevance and quality score, as we mentioned, it affects how well your ad performs and like its potential to appear above the map in search results. So, quality score, there is some sort of a format to how Google determines the quality score. So, it's a score 1 out of 10, and the factors that may affect your quality score is that your ad relevance, that's one thing, your expected click-through rate, so meaning your ads, um, your the expected CTR for your ad copies must be above average, and then your landing page scores. So landing page scores meaning the content of your landing pages where your ads go to should be highly relevant to your ad copies. So you when a customer clicks on an ad saying custom window blinds, that should go into a page where it says same thing about the product and not any other product, so it should be highly relevant. um, and so yes, ad relevance does have a certain impact on quality score. And actually, as we mentioned earlier, if you do have a above average quality score, that can sometimes mean that you will be paying less cost per click than what you're willing to bid on.
Yep. Yep. You can outrank people on the map side or on the ad side and pay less than them.
Yes.
Yeah. Very interesting. Are there any specific industries or business types that benefit most from showing ads in the map pack? This is kind of a tricky one because we only work in one industry, so
Hmm.
don't necessarily know the answer to this.
Yeah, but we all see a lot of businesses having Google business listing and having a lot of reviews, and that is indicative of how their business is growing. And so personally, I would say that businesses that do rely on local foot traffic can highly benefit from it. Retail stores, restaurants, service providers tend to benefit most from map pack ads, but also services that is um, just operating from home can also benefit from it. So there are a lot of industries that do take advantage of the Google business
Sure.
listings.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. What are the benefits of running paid ads in the map pack for my business? I kind of answered this a little bit earlier. For our industry, we have clients 60 to 70% of their leads come from the map pack. So running an ad in there, if you're not listed organically as one of the three, uh, I mean, it's the benefit is more leads. Is that fair to say?
Yes, yes. And as we know, you can still rank high on maps even though you're not running ads. So it's actually one of the things that we initially set up and optimize for our clients.
Yeah, Abby, it's month one for new clients when we start running something called a citation campaign and things to get them listed organically in the 3-pack, because we know as the marketing agency that's gonna help them long term. Is that correct?
Yeah, it also building those citation also add relevance to the Google business profile, like having consistent NAPs, which is name, address, and phone number of the business. It actually help to improve the relevance of the business.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a huge piece of it, and it gets the phone ringing sooner than later. I think is real important. So, are there any additional costs associated with displaying ads in the map pack? So, Amy, are there differences in costs of one versus the other?
No, if you're already running, say, search ads, then there's no additional cost for displaying ads in the map. So you're charged based on your bidding strategy and when users interact with your ads. So I had some calls with clients asking if someone sees our ads, will we be paying for those? And the answer is no. You won't be paying if people will see your ad. You will only be paying if that person or that user will click on your ad. Um, and there are no add-on cost, but you will need to integrate your Google business listing to your Google Ads account.
Right. Right. Okay. Very good. That's important to know. There's really no additional cost. It's just still pay per click, right? You pay when
Mhm.
somebody clicks. So this is a good one for businesses that have more than one location. Is it possible to target multiple locations simultaneously with the map pack for a single ad campaign?
Yes. You can target multiple locations simultaneously within a single ad campaign. So you do have a bunch of location targeting options on Google Ads. So you can target per city, per county. You can also exclude locations that you don't want your ad to show up on. And you can also target by radius.
Got it. And you can get pretty specific, right? If there's an industrial area in your city and you don't want to show ads there because you only work with residential, I mean, you can be pretty specific about that kind of stuff, right?
Right, yeah. You can even pin a very specific location that you want to run ads on or you want to exclude.
Nice. Okay. All right. On the other side of this, are there any limitations or restrictions that I should be aware of when running map pack ads?
Yeah, there are certain Google policies, especially on ad content, their language, quality, um, there there are some to avoid as well. Say, for example, oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
guys
you're
hear
good.
me? Oh, okay. Yeah, I had a lag. Yeah, for example, misrepresentation, um, ads on alcohol, gambling, political ads as well, marks. And so you need to be careful on those because that might lead on Google disapproving your ads. Worst case scenario, your account will be suspended. Although you can submit an appeal as long as you may or you like fix the ads based on their policies. So if you would want to take a look on the more specific policies of Google, you can go to support.google.com/ads policies. So they'll give you a bunch of details on there.
Very good. Are there any common or what are some common mistakes to avoid when running ads in the map pack?
One is avoiding inconsistent business information, neglecting reviews as well, not refining your targeting. Also, one thing is sending your ads to generic pages, especially home pages with not much content. There is, you can send them to homepage as long as your homepage is optimized to have relevant content and set up like a landing page. Um, and not optimizing regularly as well, as we mentioned, it's not just set it up and forget about it. Not checking your performance per location, especially if you're running ads on maps. And so from time to time, and we do this probably monthly, we'll just go on the past 30 days and take a look at the um, what we call a location report. And so Google will tell you how many clicks are you getting from these areas, how many impressions, how many leads and calls have you gotten, um, and also not optimizing your Google business profile. So that's a very big factor in terms of running map pack ads.
Yeah. Yeah. Abby, same question on the Google business profile side. Are there any common mistakes? And I want to also circle back and talk about landing pages, but let's get your answer first.
Um, some of the common mistakes that they need to avoid when optimizing the GBP is to failing to fill out like the important sections in the profile that could affect your relevance and ranking. So um, in the new update, Google updated like the dashboard. You can edit directly through search. There's like score. You can check the completeness of your profile. There's like profile score, though
Okay.
there's no publicly announced that Google is using like a quality score, but Google GBP, like it does for PPC ad concept, is like a similar one. So they need to complete the profile, and then inconsistent enough, the one that I mentioned earlier, the name, address, and phone number. So those are the top two common mistakes that they need to avoid. And then
Yeah.
similar to similar to what Amy said earlier, is like ignoring reviews, either positive or negative reviews. They need to respond. And another one is using a wrong category. And yeah, keyword stuffing, overusing the keywords, like just making your listing look spammy, like using a lot of keywords that just to include all of the queries that you want to rank on. So they need to avoid that one.
Yeah, I did see somebody contacted us yesterday about um, their local profile, and it was a window treatment company, and they were listed as a flooring company in Google. So, as you mentioned earlier, just putting in the right category
Mm-hmm.
will help you show up in the right places, right? And Google, they do have a category for awning company. They do have a category for window treatment company, right?
Yeah, yeah, correct.
And and then on top of that, you can add additional categories, right? Not just one. So you can
Mm-hmm.
be window treatment company as your primary, but you could also have interior designer,
Mm-hmm.
curtain manufacturer. Those are so there's ways to add other categories in there as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Last, I wanted to circle back around and talk about landing pages. So, on the paid ad side, as Amy mentioned, probably the worst thing you can do is send people to your homepage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
because it's not terribly relevant to it. Well, let's go the other way. If somebody clicks on an ad for shutters, at least dump them onto your page on your website that's about shutters. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, that
That'd be
is
a good
a
start.
common practice as well.
Yeah.
So if someone is looking for motorization, for example, motorized window treatments, and you um, direct them to your homepage, where you barely even mentioned anything about motorization, then they would need to spend more time looking for that information that they want. So you need to direct them to a page that meets their expectation. And that page should have more information on the product or service that they are looking for. And so if someone is searching for shutters, your landing pages should include what shutters are, the features of the shutters, the types of shutters that you offer to your customers, maybe reviews from people that had purchased the same product from your company before. So that is just one example. And actually, I would like to add on what Abby mentioned earlier about spamming in keywords on your Google business profile. This also applies to any your landing page content as well. And I think before that is actually what Google wants. Probably 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it's just people in putting in all of the keywords on their website in order for them to rank better. But Google is more smart nowadays, and highly um, they are more intent focused, as what you mentioned earlier, Will. So even with regards to the keywords that you're targeting and the content of your landing pages, Google is trying to learn from its users what the intent of those searches are. And so you will need to make sure that your content makes sense for your customers,
Yeah.
potential customers. Yeah.
Right, right. One other thing, Abby, along those lines is a lot of times we'll build a landing page specifically tied to an ad. In those cases, from the SEO side, we block those pages from the search engines, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
they're not confused because we don't want them to see our shutters page on our site and then our shutters landing page, which is written specifically for the ads. So it's, a lot of times we block those from the search engines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That way,
For yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry. Um, it depends on the scenario. We can there are times we can allow search engine to index some of the landing pages if you want it, but it won't affect like
Oh, Amy,
the
you're cracking up or something there. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Go ahead, Abby.
um yeah sorry uh for the landing pages, it's a good practice to like not Google to index the pages, but there are some scenario that you can allow them to show if you want to target you want to it depends on the like the goal. If you want your website to gain more traffic, we can allow Google to index. But if you want the user intent is to purchase your products or services just to avoid confusion for the customers. We usually recommend to not index those pages that is specific
Right.
using for the Google Ads.
Yeah, yeah. It really depends on. Well, I mean, first it depends on if you have a shutters page on your site, right? If
Mhm.
you don't, you're going to have to build a landing page or build a page on your site, and then you don't want to have two pages that are very similar to each other. So, awesome. Thank you, guys. All right. Question 19. Are there any recommended budgeting practices for Google Ads campaigns targeting the map pack?
Yeah, I would say since your budget on maps is also should be within your general ad budget for your Google ads, um, there first of all you will need to know what are the industry averages. So you'll need to know your industry's average cost per lead, cost per click. Um, Cost per lead is probably the most important metric that you will need to know.
Yep.
And it's one of the factors that you need to consider in deciding how much your monthly budget will be. So you will need to have a monthly budget and then divide that um, on 30 or 31 days. And so that's one thing, knowing what are the industry averages. So for us in the window treatment and awnings, we do have some benchmarks in order for us to decide later on if the campaign is worth it or not. And next one is knowing how Google spends your daily budget. And so since you'll have a monthly budget, you divide that over 30 or 31 days, right? um, Google can spend higher or lower than what you set your daily budget would be, but then it will not spend the monthly budget. So, say for example, you have $1,000 budget. There may be, 1,000 divided by 30 days would be how much? Uh,
$33.
$33. So there may be um days wherein you'll just spend 30, and there will be days that you will spend 60. So it depends how Google decides. So there might be certain days of the week, or days of the month wherein Google will think that you will get more conversion if you bid a lot higher or spend a lot higher, and so they can spend um, more than what your daily budget is. But then you will not spend more than $1,000 if that is your monthly budget. Um, so that's a second. And then also reviewing monthly. So for us, we do send out monthly reports to our clients, just telling them how much they spend, and the highlights of their campaign, and so they can make the decision to, you know, tweak some stuff. Say, for example, remove some devices that we bid on, some locations, um, or scaling. That means adding more budget so that we'll have more to play on, test new campaigns, test new strategies as well. And then last thing would be reviewing by location. So I think I mentioned this earlier. Just going into your location report, seeing how each of the areas perform. So if you are targeting one large county, for example, you can take a look of how much each of the cities are performing, which are your top cities in terms of conversions or leads or clicks, and then you can make certain marketing decisions based on those data. And
Got
then
it.
lastly, would be being aware of the learning phase. So the learning phase is just the time when Google doesn't have enough data yet. Um, and so this usually happens when you're just very early on to your PPC campaign. So if it's your first time running ads, and moving forward, if you're making any big changes to your campaign. And so on the learning stage, you won't get more accurate data. So your cost per lead might be a lot higher than your competitors. You don't have enough traffic, but this is where Google is trying to figure out what you would want to get out of your campaign. So you being aware that that is just a phase on Google, um, to be able to give you the results that you want later on, then you won't have that panic that your account is not working properly.
Right.
Yeah, so those are the things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's important. So let's just put some real numbers to it real quick. From what I understand, last time we talked, industry average cost per lead is between 160 and 210. Is that still pretty accurate for a
I would
brand
say
new?
yes. Um,
Yeah.
for a brand new campaign on the custom industry. So custom window
Yeah.
treatment for awnings in general, it's lower. But for window treatment, especially the ones that are um, wherein we focus on local leads. Anything local in general does have a higher cost per lead. So, as what I said, you need to have a benchmark,
Yeah.
and you need to know the average order value of your products and services. Because, say
Right.
for example, you spend $150 for a lead, but then your average order value is say 3,000 on average from one order. So it would make sense that you would have a high cost per lead.
Yeah. Yeah. So in month one, if let's say you're spending $200 a lead, if you put $1,000 a month into it, you should expect 5 leads, right? In month two, the idea then becomes let's figure out ways to drive that cost per lead down. And as Google learns more about your audience, who's converting, those sorts of things, it's not always about just putting more money at it. It's about driving the cost per lead down so you're getting more leads for the same spend, right?
That can be one of the cases. In
Yeah.
theory, um, that is how many leads you'll get if considering the average in the industry averages. But also, you need to put into consideration if you're a new advertiser. So if you haven't run ads before, the goal really for your month one is not give you enough leads or like give you the amount of leads based on the industry average, because your goal, of course, aside from getting leads, is making sure that your campaign is set onto the right foundation, because that will be a huge factor on how your campaigns will perform on month 2, month 3, and moving forward. So if you haven't set up your campaign and you haven't set up the right foundations early on your month 1, then your campaign will not perform as much as it the potential performance of your campaign is much lower. So that is really the goal for month 1, because if you're a new advertiser, Google, it's like meeting someone the first time, right? So Google is trying to figure out who you are, what your business is, the products and services that you offer. So that is the time for Google to figure that out.
Yeah. And then it just hopefully gets better as time goes on, right?
Yes. As
Yeah.
we mentioned, do not forget it. So that is one of the key factors in order for you to um, let Google know what your business is. So it's
Yeah.
just like dating will.
Yeah. Right. And one other question, then I'll get on to our other questions. There's not a way in the paid ad platform to specifically allocate a budget towards the maps. Is that correct?
Yes, although you can bid um, specifically for certain locations.
Okay.
So you have a monthly budget for your Google Ads account, right? And that can be split into the campaigns if you have several campaigns, or that can be for one campaign. It depends on what your strategy is. And so if you decided to do manual bidding, for example, so you have an option to do several options on how you want Google to bid. And so there are automated bidding options and there are manual options as well. And so if you decided to go manual, or set up another campaign for another location, for example, then you kind of have that control over how much you want to spend on certain locations versus another set
Okay.
of locations.
Right. Okay. Very good. With the goal being optimize your Google Map profile so you don't have to spend money on ads to get there, right?
Yes, in the long term, that is the
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Question number 20. What specific targeting options are available for Google Ads Map Pack campaigns?
Um, Google Ads Map Pack campaigns. So you have targeting options such as location targeting is one. I've also mentioned radius targeting. Early on, you can also do demographic targeting, and you can set up sort of an audience list. And so
Okay.
if you installed some tags on your website, then you can use that information to retarget later on. And so you can refine your audience and maximize your relevance as well.
Yeah, I love that, custom audiences. So Google can actually figure out who's visiting your website and converting into leads, and then kind of reverse engineer that type of person and show your ads to more of those type of people. Correct?
Yes, correct, correct. Say
That's awesome.
they do take advantage of what information they can get from the users that are visiting your website, or if you do have an email list, or you have a CRM. For example, for us, we do have Lead Boomerang, so we can integrate both of those, and Google can use that data.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. All right, last question, and this is a bit of a setup for you. I tried Google Ads for a few months and received 0 leads. It cost me about $1,000. I also had the same experience with Yelp. I don't think either works unless you spend thousands of dollars per month and go on hundreds of cold to warm leads. Not sure what others experienced. So yeah,
Mm,
spent a
can
lot of money and nothing happened. How do we help them?
Well, first of all, we need to kind of reverse engineer their campaign, right? You need to know why it's not working, or where are the areas that isn't working. Because if you will just pick generally that you haven't gotten much from your campaigns, that might mean that you haven't really taken the time to optimize your campaign or know where your ads are show. And so on Google Ads, there are a lot of data that you can work on, right? You can even take a look at your bounce rates, take a look at the what the customers are doing when they go into your website. And so there are certain metrics that you will need to consider in order for you to kind of figure out why it didn't work. Um, because it may, there are businesses that haven't been haven't had results on Google Maps, maybe in the industry where um, in the same industry as you, but there are also competitors that had been doing a lot better. And so if they are doing ads and it's working out usually for them, then that means that it's working, right? You just need to figure out what else you would need to do in order for you to get on or have that same performance. And so as I've mentioned earlier, when running Google Ads, it's not just making sure that you have your ad copies and keywords on there. It's also making sure that your ads are going to a good landing page, your Google business profile is set up correctly. And so even though sometimes how much you spend money on ads, and you're directing them to a homepage that isn't really made for them to convert, there is like sort of a gap on there, right? So if you're getting clicks, getting traffic onto your website, but then people are not converting, then that means, that tells you something, right? That tells you that
Right.
maybe you will need to work on your landing page. And so you wouldn't come up to those decisions if you haven't taken a look at your numbers and know what the numbers mean, like. So you'll
Yeah.
have those data in order for you to come up with a conclusion and then a strategy that may work after that.
Yeah. You mentioned the smart campaigns earlier. Google has made it very easy and tempting for business owners to just throw some money at ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they do that and they turn it on and it doesn't work. And I can definitely see how frustrating that could be. So without some sort of strategy behind it, you're just going to keep spending money and get 0 leads. I don't know how you could stay in business if you did that. So thank
Definitely.
you.
They make it
Yeah,
really easy for them to take your money if that's the
right.
case.
Now, on the other side of that, we are Google partners. We've gone through that certification process with Google. And one of the things they do give us is a $500 promo code for new clients. So if you've never advertised before and you're one of our clients, then you get that nice little boost. But the nice thing about that is we know how to apply that money to turn it into leads, right? It's not just really free $500 worth of ads. It's additional leads for you. So
Definitely.
very good. Thank you guys for jumping on today, Abby and Amy. I do appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys jumping on and kind of answering all of these questions. If you are watching this live, thank you so much for jumping on today. We appreciate it. If you are listening to this as the podcast, then thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe and listen to future episodes that we'll also have coming up. Amy, Abby, thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
being on today.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Will.
Will. Thanks, Abby.
Appreciate it. You guys have a great
Appreciate it.
day. Thanks,
You
everyone.
too, guys. Back to work.
Bye.